You don't see it happen. You feel it. It's a shift in the atmosphere, a change in the quality of silence between you. One day, her tone changes, losing its defensive edge. Her eyes hold your gaze a fraction too long, not in challenge, but in quiet inquiry. Her laughter sounds different, freer, softer, as if the internal sentinel standing guard has finally been allowed to stand down. This is the first, subtle tremor of a profound seismic shift. The woman who once meticulously analyzed every word and subtext now simply relaxes in the space you occupy. Her body language begins to sync with yours unconsciously, a subtle mirroring of your posture, the rhythm of your breath, the pace of your speech. Her rhythm becomes your rhythm, her calm, a reflection of your own. But here is the critical juncture where most men, sensing this opening, make a catastrophic error. They misinterpret this softening as a green light for pursuit. They believe the moment for romance has arrived, that the gates are open and they must charge through. This fundamental misunderstanding is the cause of more failed connections than any lack of charm or compatibility. That moment is not about romance. It is about energy. When her walls begin to fall, she is not asking for affection. She is asking for containment. The silent, pivotal question every woman asks in this space is, can he hold my emotion without being capsized by it? Can he contain my chaos, my joy, my fear, my sadness, without needing to fix it, run from it, or make it about himself? The man who chases this moment with words, who explains his feelings, who performs his worth, who seeks to logically dissect the connection, loses her without ever understanding why. He speaks, and in his speaking, he shatters the very stillness that drew her in, because authentic attraction is not built through effort. It is built through stillness. It is the quiet, gravitational pull of your unresolved presence that draws her, not your charm, not your compliments, not your chase. You do not win her heart by chasing her emotions. You win it by demonstrating such mastery over your own that yours becomes a sanctuary for hers. If she feels a tangible peace in your presence, she is already, in the most meaningful sense, yours. Most men operate under a grand misconception. They believe a woman guards her heart because she is picky, because she has been hurt, because she enjoys playing games. This is a superficial reading of a deep, biological, and psychological imperative. A woman guards her emotions for one reason only: self-preservation. You must understand, women do not fall in love through logic. They fall through feeling. Every time she allows her emotional world to open toward someone, she is risking her core sense of safety. And safety, to a woman, is rarely about physical protection in the modern world. It is about emotional stability. It is the deep, cellular knowing that if she lets her walls down, she will not have to rebuild them alone. That if she softens, you will not harden. That if she reaches out in vulnerability, her hand will not touch emptiness. Her guard exists not to test you, but to protect her inner peace from men who are incapable of protecting their own. From the very first encounter, she is not primarily assessing your resume or your features. She is reading your energy, your tone, your pace, your reaction to a minor inconvenience, the steadiness of your gaze. She has seen the archetypes before: the man who speaks with confidence but whose ego collapses at the first sign of pressure, the man who seems calm until a casual rejection bruises him, revealing the insecurity beneath, the man who mistakes relentless attention for genuine connection. So she tests. Not consciously, not with cruelty, but instinctively, inevitably. Every smile she withholds, every pause she lets linger, every small, strategic withdrawal is a data point. She is not wondering, will he fight for me? That is a fantasy sold by movies. She is watching to see, will he fight himself? Can he wrestle his own impulses, his need to prove, his fear of losing control? This is the true battlefield, because here is the truth most men never grasp. A woman does not ultimately fall for the man who gives her everything. She falls for the man who makes her feel utterly safe to be herself. And this emotional safety is not constructed from promises or poetry. It is built, brick by brick, through composure. When she senses your calm is not a performance, but a state of being, her guard begins to question its own necessity. Her body relaxes before her mind gives its permission. Her tone softens before she ever admits to feeling something. This is not yet love. It is something more foundational, permission. Permission to exhale. Permission to stop pretending she doesn't care. Permission to feel the full spectrum of her emotions, without the fear of being judged for feeling too much. This is why you will notice those small, almost imperceptible shifts. She leans in a little closer, dissolving the physical barrier. She laughs a little louder, her joy unfiltered. She manufactures excuses to talk, to linger, to connect. This is not manipulation. It is her nervous system broadcasting a simple, powerful signal. I think I can rest here. And the single worst mistake a man can make in this pivotal moment is to rush in with validation, to immediately reciprocate with effusive compliments, to declare his interest, to try and lock down what is so beautifully unfolding. Because the moment you start trying to prove your worth, she feels the frame crack. Her intuition, sharper than any logical deduction, whispers a warning. He needs my approval to feel strong. His center is external, not internal. And just like that, as if an internal alarm has been triggered, her guard rebuilds itself, higher and more resilient than before. A man who truly understands the psychology of connection does not chase a woman's attention. He cultivates his presence. Presence is not about what you do. It is about the quality of energy you hold when you are doing nothing. It is the ability to sit in silence and not need to fill it with noise. It is the capacity to sense her tension and not feel compelled to rush in and fix it. It is the power to feel the rise of attraction and not lose your emotional composure in response. That is when she begins to trust you. Not because you presented a convincing argument, but because your unwavering stillness taught her, on a level deeper than words, that she does not have to protect herself from you. This is what her entire being responds to: containment. Not dominance, not control. Containment. The man who can hold his own emotional state, who can navigate his own inner storms without dumping them on others, teaches her through his being that her emotions are safe with him, too. His emotional sovereignty gives her permission to reclaim her own. That is when the dynamic truly shifts. That is when the space between you becomes magnetic, because now she is no longer afraid of it. She is drawn to it. You must understand this. A woman's fear of connection is rarely about you personally. It is about her history with chaos. She has likely been loved by men who could not love themselves. She has been heard by men who were only listening for a pause to reply. She has been touched by men whose hands never truly reached her soul. So she learned to survive. Her survival mechanism was to pull back, to become a master at reading energy instead of listening to words. And when she encounters a man who carries a palpable sense of peace instead of the familiar pressure, that survival instinct begins, slowly and subtly, to crumble. It will not happen instantly. She will test that peace. She will challenge it. She will even, at times, try to provoke it, because she needs to know, with absolute certainty, if it is real. If you can stay grounded through her waves of uncertainty, her guard does not just lower, it begins to dissolve. Not because you forced it, but precisely because you never demanded that it fall. This is the core equation. When a woman feels safe, she surrenders. When she feels pressure, she resists. The difference is not found in what you say, but in how steady you remain when she is uncertain. This is why emotional discipline is not an optional personality trait. It is your greatest and most underutilized form of attraction. It is the fundamental quality that separates men who want love from men who are capable of holding it. So, the next time you sense a woman pulling back, your task is not to chase her emotion. Your imperative is to anchor your own, because her guard is not just a wall. It is a mirror, and if you can stay calm enough to see your own clear, unwavering reflection in it, you will have a profound realization. The key to her heart was never about her. It was always about you. This philosophy is not new. It is ancient wisdom applied to modern connection. The Stoics called it apatheia, not apathy, but a state of mind where one is not ruled by destructive passions. It is self-sufficiency, autarkia, the quality of being whole within yourself. A man who embodies this does not need a woman to complete him. He invites her to complement his already complete life. This is what modern men have forgotten in the frenzy of pursuit. They confuse intimacy with dependence. They believe love means losing themselves to prove devotion. But the deeper, more powerful truth is the opposite. A woman can only truly trust a love that is rooted in inner strength. She can relax into your presence only when she knows, on an instinctual level, that your peace does not depend on hers. If she senses that your calm exists only when she is kind, that your confidence collapses when she withdraws, then she knows your peace was never real. It was borrowed, a performance for her benefit, and that is the moment she will begin to drift. She becomes more cautious, less available, less of the playful, open woman you first connected with. She will test your balance one last time, often by pulling back, by becoming unpredictable, by letting silence do the talking. And your reaction in this void will decide everything. If you chase, you confirm her deepest fear. Your calm was conditional on her behavior. If you retaliate with coldness or anger, you prove her right. Your ego was always louder than your peace. But if you remain composed, if you hold your frame without punishing her, pleading with her, or panicking, that is when she feels something rare and indelible, respect. Respect is the bedrock of lasting attraction. It is what separates men who are remembered from men who are replaced. The moment she realizes your calm cannot be shaken by her storms is the moment she understands, intuitively, that you cannot be replaced. But this calm must be authentic. You cannot fake it for effect. You cannot manufacture silence as a tactic. She will sense the manipulation. True composure is not about pretending not to care. It is about caring deeply while remaining unmoved by the need for a specific outcome. It is the art of letting emotion flow through you without letting it rule you. This is masculine energy in its highest expression. Not dominance, not coldness, but profound control over the self. When you feel her drift, when the replies get shorter, when the energy seems distant, remember this. It is not your job to restore the connection. It is your job to preserve your foundation. You are not losing her. You are being measured. She is watching, with the keen eye of a survivalist, how you handle uncertainty. She is testing whether your peace was situational or internal. And if you can stay grounded when she creates distance, you have already passed the test. Because in that silence, she will feel it again, that same, solid calm that made her lower her guard in the first place. And she will return, not because you chased her, but because your unwavering energy reminded her of what true safety feels like. Most men chase validation. The grounded man embodies value. You do not win a woman through performance. You win her through presence. You do not gain love by demanding loyalty. You gain it by being unshakably yourself. A woman does not fall for the man who reacts to her every emotional wave. She falls for the man who remains rooted, like a deep-sea anchor, through her storms. Because when she feels your energy stand tall and unwavering against her chaos, her heart remembers what her mind has been taught to deny. That real safety isn't about controlling the environment, but about finding a shelter that cannot be moved by it. This is, ultimately, why most men lose her after winning her. They stop being the energy that drew her in. They confuse connection with comfort. They trade mystery for maintenance. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, she stops feeling the spark. Not because it vanished, but because he stopped carrying it. The spark was never just chemistry. It was the visible light of his unwavering presence. And when that light dims, so does her sense of safety, and so, inevitably, does she. Understanding the theory is one thing, embodying it is another. This is not a switch you flip, but a muscle you build. Here are the foundational practices to cultivate the unshakable presence that forms the core of attraction. 1. The cornerstone, a purpose beyond her. Your life must be a compelling story, and she should be an invited character in it, not the plot itself. A man without a mission is a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave of a woman's emotion. His mood rises and falls with her attention, because her attention is his only source of validation. Your purpose is your rudder. It is your central focus, your career, your art, your craft, your service to the community, your physical mastery. It is what gets you out of bed in the morning with or without a woman in your life. When you are passionately engaged in your own journey, you carry a natural, unforced confidence. You are too busy building your own world to anxiously monitor hers. Practice. Define your mission. Write it down. What is the one thing you are working towards that is bigger than your desire for a relationship? Schedule your time around this mission. When you are with her, be fully with her. When you are not, be fully in your purpose. This creates a natural, healthy distance that prevents neediness and makes your time together a valued prize, not a given. 2. Emotional alchemy, processing without projecting. You will feel fear, insecurity, jealousy, and anger. The goal is not to become an emotionless robot. The goal is to become the alchemist of your own inner world, to take the base metal of raw, reactive emotion and transform it into the gold of conscious response. This requires creating a space between the stimulus, her pulling away, and your response, your action. In that space lies your power. The observe distance respond protocol. Observe. When a triggering emotion arises, name it silently. This is jealousy. This is insecurity. This is fear of rejection. This simple act moves you from being the emotion to observing it. Distance. Take a literal breath. Feel the physical sensation of the emotion in your body, the tightness in your chest, the heat in your face, without judging it or needing to act on it. Imagine placing it on a table in front of you. You can see it, but you are not it. Respond, now, from this slightly detached, calmer state. Choose your action. Does the emotion require an action at all? Often the answer is no. If it does, the action will be measured and grounded, not reactive and desperate. 3. The discipline of stillness. Cultivating your inner sanctuary. Your ability to be still externally is a direct reflection of your ability to be still internally. A mind that is constantly churning with anxiety, planning, and analysis cannot project peace. Practice daily sit. For 10 to 20 minutes each day. Simply sit in silence. Focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently guide it back without judgment. This is not meditation for spiritual enlightenment. It is weightlifting for your focus and emotional regulation. It trains your brain to not be pulled by every passing thought or fear. When you are with her, this practice stillness allows you to listen fully, to be present, and to not fill comfortable silences with nervous chatter. 4. Setting the frame. You are the emotional tone setter. The frame is the unspoken context of the interaction. Is the frame, I need you to validate me? Or is it, I am a man of value, and I am seeing if you fit into my world? You set the frame through your actions and energy, not your words. Practice, lead through action, be decisive, have a plan for the date, handle logistics smoothly. When a problem arises, focus on solutions, not blame. Your calm proficiency in navigating the external world signals your proficiency in navigating the internal one. Hold your boundaries with kindness. If she disrespects your time or values, address it calmly and directly, without anger or need for her to agree. A simple, "That doesn't work for me," stated calmly, is more powerful than 1,000 angry words. It shows your peace has a spine. When you consistently apply these pillars, the connection will naturally deepen. You will enter the mirroring phase, where her nervous system syncs with yours. This is a period of great opportunity and great fragility. The mirroring phase, your greatest responsibility. She starts using your phrases. Her daily rhythm begins to align with yours. She laughs at what you laugh at, and her body language echoes your own. This is the highest compliment her subconscious can pay you. It means, your energy is my new home base. This is not the time to celebrate and relax. It is the time to double down on your foundation. You are now the emotional tone setter. Your energy becomes the baseline around which she regulates her own. If you are calm, she softens. If you are scattered, she tightens. If you are peaceful, she opens. If you are reactive, she closes. You are not leading her attention. You are shaping her emotional world without saying a word. This is why self-mastery is not selfish. It is the source of safety you provide to the relationship. Navigating the tests. Her tests will become more nuanced. A sudden withdrawal after a moment of intimacy isn't her losing interest. It's her checking if your interest is dependent on her being on. A challenge to your decision isn't a power struggle. It's her ensuring your calm has depth and direction. Your response is always the same. Hold your frame. Stay grounded. Do not punish her for testing, and do not reward it with extra attention. Simply remain the consistent, peaceful presence you have always been. By not reacting, you pass the test. The shift to attachment. Then, one day, the testing stops. The silence between you is no longer tense, but deeply peaceful. She shares her fears, her past hurts, her deepest insecurities. This is the final surrender of her guard. She is not just giving you her affection. She is giving you her vulnerability. She is trusting you with her sense of self. This is where your responsibility becomes sacred. The power dynamic shifts. Your energy is no longer just attracting her. It is now the environment in which she lives. If you become anxious, she becomes restless. If you lose direction, she feels insecure. If you remain grounded and purposeful, she blooms. This is the ultimate goal, not to make a woman love you, but to become the kind of man a woman feels safe to love completely. It is a journey that begins and ends not with her, but with you. You don't chase peace. You become it. And in that becoming, you become a sanctuary. A man whose presence is the greatest offer of love he can ever make. A woman's tests are not the malicious games of a manipulator. They are the innate, self-preservation instincts of a creature that has evolved to assess emotional stability for survival. To see them as anything else is to misunderstand the fundamental dynamics at play. When you can reframe these moments from personal attacks into unspoken inquiries, your entire approach shifts from defensive to grounded. Test Type 1, the storm, testing your emotional resilience. The manifestation, she becomes distant without explanation. Her tone turns cold after a period of warmth. She withdraws affection or becomes subtly critical. The unspoken question, is his peace conditional on my good mood? If I bring a storm, will he be swept away? Or can he be my anchor? The reactive man's response, he panics. He floods her with texts. Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? He becomes overly accommodating, abandoning his own boundaries to appease her. He tries to logically debate her back into a good mood. The unshakable man's response. He notices the shift but does not mirror it. He maintains his warmth and openness without demanding she match it. He gives her space without resentment. He might send a simple, low-pressure message. Thinking of you. Hope you're having a good day. Then, he returns to his purpose. He understands that her emotional state is her own to manage. By not taking the bait, by not making her mood his problem to solve, he communicates the most powerful answer. Your storm does not threaten my foundation. I am still here, steady and whole. Test Type 2, the boundary, testing your integrity. The manifestation, she challenges your decisions. She pushes against your stated limits, perhaps by being late, changing plans last minute, or playfully teasing a known insecurity. The unspoken question, does his calm have a spine? Are his values and self-respect solid, or will he bend them to keep me? The reactive man's response, he folds. He rationalizes her behavior and changes his plans to accommodate her. He laughs off the teasing even though it stings, fearing that setting a boundary will make him seem weak or controlling. He teaches her that his word is flexible. The unshakable man's response. He holds his frame with kindness and immovability. If she is late, he is not angry, but he is not a doormat. No problem, these things happen. I had to move on with my evening, but let's reschedule for when you have more time. If she teases an insecurity, he doesn't get defensive. He simply states his boundary calmly. I know you're joking, but I don't really enjoy comments about that. He does not get emotional. He simply states what is and is not acceptable in his world. This communicates, I respect myself too much to abandon my principles for your approval. My world has structure, and you are welcome in it, but you cannot dismantle it. Test Type 3, the trigger, testing your authenticity. The manifestation, she creates a minor conflict or becomes emotionally heightened over something seemingly small. It feels like she is trying to pick a fight. The unspoken question, is his composure real, or is it a mask? If I apply pressure, will the real, reactive man appear? I need to see what he's really made of before I trust him. The reactive man's response. He takes the bait. He matches her emotion, argues his point, gets defensive, and tries to win the debate. He proves that his piece was a performance that can be easily discarded under pressure. The unshakable man's response. He refuses to enter the emotional hurricane. He listens. He breathes. He does not interrupt. When she is finished, he does not counterattack. Instead, he might reflect the emotion he senses. It sounds like you're really frustrated by this. Or, I can feel there's a lot of energy behind this for you. He de-escalates. He does not try to solve the unsolvable problem she has presented, but instead addresses the underlying emotion. This communicates, I am not threatened by your emotion. I can see your distress without needing to become distressed myself. You are safe to feel what you feel here. Passing these tests is not about memorizing lines. It is about the fundamental, embodied state of your being. A woman's intuition is a lie detector for incongruence. She can sense when your calm is a tactic versus when it is the core of your character. The initial attraction is the spark, lit by mystery and potential. But a spark dies if it has no fuel. The fuel for lasting love is the consistent day in, day out embodiment of the man you were during the courtship. The transition from passionate attraction to deep, secure attachment is the ultimate goal, and it requires a new level of awareness. The danger of comfort. The greatest threat to a long-term relationship is not conflict, it is complacency. This is the silent killer. It is the man who, after winning her heart, stops leading. He stops pursuing his mission with the same fervor. He lets his physical health slide. He replaces deep, present conversation with distracted grunts from behind a phone screen. He trades his mystery for the mundane. He believes that because she is his, the work is done. But a woman does not want to be a trophy on a shelf. She wants to be a partner on an adventure. When your energy becomes complacent, her attraction withers. She doesn't leave because she stops loving you. She leaves because she stops feeling the safety and inspiration that your strong presence once provided. Maintaining polarity through purpose. The solution is to never stop being the man she fell for. Your purpose must remain the central pillar of your life. Your self-improvement must be a continuous journey. This isn't about keeping her interested. It's about honoring your own potential. A man in pursuit of his best self is inherently attractive and inspiring. Lead the shared adventure. Don't just fall into a routine. Be the architect of your shared life. Plan trips, even small ones. Introduce her to new hobbies, books, and ideas. Create a vision for your future together and take concrete steps towards it. This demonstrates that your leadership and creativity are not just for the chase, but for the long haul. The sacred responsibility of vulnerability. As she attaches, she will share her deepest self with you. This is a gift of unimaginable trust. The unshakable man knows how to receive this gift. He does not use her vulnerabilities as weapons in future arguments. He does not dismiss them or try to immediately fix them. He practices containment at the deepest level. He listens, holds her, and creates a space where her deepest fears and shames can be aired without judgment. He understands that her sharing is not always a request for a solution, but a plea for witness. In these moments, your stillness is more valuable than any advice. By being her sanctuary, you cement a bond that transient passion could never create, becoming her peace. Ultimately, the journey culminates in this realization. You are not just a partner. You are her home. When the world is loud, chaotic, and demanding, your presence is the place where she can exhale. Your calm becomes her refuge. Your purpose becomes a stable horizon she can navigate by. Your integrity becomes the wall that protects the world you build together. This is not a passive state. It is an active, daily practice. It is the practice of choosing stillness over reaction, purpose over distraction, and integrity over convenience. It is the practice of mastering yourself, not to control her, but to create an environment where the best version of her can flourish alongside the best version of you. The final, Stoic truth is this. The relationship is merely a reflection of your inner state. To improve the reflection, you do not adjust the mirror. You work on the man standing in front of it. When you become the embodiment of peace, purpose, and presence, you no longer have to seek love. You will have become the very thing that love is irresistibly drawn to. To understand why these principles feel so foreign, we must diagnose the sickness of the modern masculine condition. The world has systematically dismantled the traditional pillars of masculine identity, duty, honor, mastery of a craft, and replaced them with a hollow shell of consumption and performance. The modern man is taught to seek validation externally, through likes on social media, the acquisition of status symbols, and the conquest of women's affections. He is a ghost in his own life, performing a role scripted by advertisers and influencers, disconnected from his own core. This is the genesis of neediness. A man who lacks an internal kingdom, a rich, inner world built on self-defined values and purpose, will inevitably seek to colonize the emotional world of others. He becomes an emotional vampire, draining his partner's energy to fill his own emptiness. His love is not a generous overflow of his own abundance, but a desperate grasp for a life raft. The three modern male archetypes and why they fail. The boy man, the reactor, he is ruled by his impulses and emotions. He pouts. He sulks. He has outbursts of anger or neediness. He is emotionally volatile and thus profoundly unsafe. A woman feels she must manage his emotions like a mother, which extinguishes attraction. The performer, the chameleon, he has learned the script. He says the right things, uses the right dating tactics, and projects an image of confidence. But it is a house built on sand. The moment his performance is challenged, by a test, by rejection, by real vulnerability, the facade cracks, revealing the insecure boy hiding beneath. His energy is one of calculation, not authenticity. The cynic, the withdrawn, having been hurt or disillusioned, he mistakes emotional unavailability for strength. He is closed off, distant, and uses not caring as a shield. He offers a false form of stability, the stability of a brick wall. There is no life, no warmth, no generative energy. A woman cannot build a home against a wall. She can only feel cold and alone. The unshakable man transcends these archetypes. He is neither reactive nor performing, neither needy nor closed. He is generative. He generates his own peace, his own purpose, his own validation. From this abundance, he can offer a love that is free and clear, with no strings attached. Theory without practice is useless. This is not about reading, it is about becoming. Commit to this 30-day protocol to begin the physical rewiring of your mind and body. The 4 pillars of daily practice. Pillar I, the body, the temple. Action, 45 minutes of intense physical exertion, 5 days a week. This is non-negotiable. Lift heavy weights. Run until you are breathless. Train in a martial art. This is not for aesthetics, it is for alchemy. It teaches you to endure discomfort, to push past self-imposed limits, and to build a body that reflects an inner fortress. The discipline cultivated here bleeds into every other area of your life. Pillar 2. The mind, the command center. Action A. Input: consume 30 minutes of philosophy or foundational literature daily. Read the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Read history, psychology, works on your craft. Replace the digital poison of social media and news cycles with mental protein. Action B. Stillness: 20 minutes of silent meditation upon waking. Do not skip this. This is your daily boot camp for your focus and emotional regulation. It is the practice of finding the silent, unmoved observer within you that watches the chaos of your thoughts without being swept away. Pillar 3. The mission, the North Star. Action. Define one primary goal for the month that advances your life's mission. It must be specific and challenging, e.g., finish the first 3 chapters of my book, launch the beta version of my website, achieve a specific sales target. Every single day, you must take one tangible, meaningful action toward this goal. This builds the core of your identity, a man of action. Pillar 4. The frame, the unspoken law. Action. Practice one act of frame holding daily. This could be as simple as sticking to your diet when offered a treat, leaving a social gathering when you said you would, even if you're having fun, politely and calmly stating a boundary in a low-stakes situation, making a small decision decisively and without apology. This is the practice of aligning your actions with your word, of teaching the world and yourself that your internal structure is solid. For 30 days, your focus is not on women. It is on this protocol. You are rebuilding your inner kingdom from the ground up. You will find that as you become more solid, your energy will shift. You will carry yourself differently. You will speak with less need for approval. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. After the storm of self-transformation, a profound calm settles in. This is the final stage, the integration of the warrior, the king, the lover, and the sage into one cohesive man. You begin to see your entire life as your practice ground. The boardroom, the gym, the quiet of your own home, all are dojos for mastering your energy. A frustrating commute becomes a lesson in patience. A professional setback becomes a test of resilience. A moment of conflict with your partner becomes an opportunity to practice grounded leadership. You realize that the principles of attraction are simply the principles of a well-lived life, applied to the realm of intimate connection. Your purpose is what makes you interesting. Your integrity is what makes you trustworthy. Your stillness is what makes you safe. Your discipline is what makes you reliable. When you embody these traits, you cease to look for a partner. You live your life so fully that the right woman is naturally drawn into your orbit, not to complete you, but to participate in the vibrant world you have created. The final and most liberating realization is this: her love is not the prize. Your wholeness is. Her presence in your life becomes a beautiful addition, a cherished chapter in your ongoing epic, but it is no longer the definition of the story. Your sense of worth, your peace, your mission, these are rooted firmly within you. This is the ultimate state of non-neediness. This is the source of true, magnetic power. You become a sanctuary not just for her, but for yourself. A man who has mastered his inner world is at home wherever he goes. In whatever company he finds himself, he is free. And in that freedom, he offers the purest form of love, not a chain that binds, but an invitation from one whole person to another to build something greater than themselves. This is the end of the search. This is the beginning of a life of purpose, power, and profound peace. You have not just learned how to attract a woman. You have remembered how to become a man. No blueprint for transformation is complete without descending into the basement of the self. The unshakable man is not a man without wounds. He is a man who has done the surgery on himself. Your past is not just a memory. It is a living, breathing architect of your present reactions. The ghost of a humiliating childhood moment can haunt your adult conversations. The echo of a past betrayal can make you tighten your grip on a present relationship, strangling the very trust you seek to build. The three primary wounds of the modern man: the father wound, the absence of a strong, present, and emotionally integrated masculine role model. This creates a boy who never learned how to channel his aggression into purpose, his sensitivity into wisdom, or his fear into courage. He either becomes the reactive boy man, perpetually seeking a father's approval from bosses and partners, or the hardened cynic, building walls where there should be boundaries. The worthiness wound, the deep-seated belief that you are fundamentally flawed, unlovable, or not enough. This is the engine of the performer. He collects achievements, women, and accolades not as expressions of his joy, but as band-aids for a festering sense of inadequacy. He is a human doing, not a human being, terrified that if he stops performing, he will be exposed as a fraud. The betrayal wound, a past experience of profound betrayal by a parent, a lover, a friend, that taught your nervous system that connection is dangerous. This man is the cynic in waiting. He holds back, keeps a secret exit strategy in every relationship, and subconsciously sabotages intimacy to validate his core belief. See, I knew I couldn't trust them. The practice of integration. This is not about fixing yourself as if you are a broken machine. It is about acknowledging these wounded parts with compassion, understanding their protective intent, and integrating them, so they no longer run the show from the shadows. Journaling prompt for the father wound. What specific lesson about being a man did I fail to receive from my father or father figures? How can I provide that lesson for myself now? E.g., if he was absent, your lesson is, I am capable and present for myself. If he was critical, your lesson is, my worth is inherent and not based on performance. Journaling prompt for the worthiness wound. If I knew I was already enough, right now, without changing a single thing, what would I stop doing? What would I start doing? This separates your actions from the desperate need for validation. Journaling prompt for the betrayal wound. What is one small, calculated risk I can take to practice trust this week? This isn't about blindly trusting everyone, but about consciously choosing where to place your trust and building that muscle again. This shadow work is the non-negotiable maintenance of your inner kingdom. A king who ignores the discontent in his own provinces will soon face a rebellion. The ultimate expression of the unshakable man is not found in a happy relationship, but in the legacy he builds. Your mission eventually must expand beyond yourself. A man who is only building for himself is still, in a way, trapped in a small story. Your integrated masculinity becomes a generative force. You become a leader, a mentor, a protector of what is good and true. You create a business, a community, a family, a work of art that outlives you. This is the final transmutation of your energy, from containing your own emotions to containing the vision for a better world. In this context, your relationship becomes a sacred partnership. It is a union of two whole people choosing to combine their energies to build something neither could build alone. You are not her source of happiness. You are her partner in creation. She is not your respite from the world. She is your fellow architect. This is the final, silent understanding. You look at each other not with the desperate need of two have seeking completion, but with the quiet respect of two sovereign beings who have chosen to share their kingdoms. You have built an inner world so solid and so vibrant that it naturally manifests as a beautiful outer world. You stop having a relationship. You are a relationship, a living, breathing, dynamic testament to the power of mastered masculinity and empowered femininity, co-creating a legacy of peace, purpose, and profound love. This is the end of the path. You are home. Many men fear conflict, viewing it as the antithesis of connection. They avoid it, suppress their needs, and placate their partner, believing this is the path to peace. This is a catastrophic error. Conflict, when navigated with mastery, is not the destroyer of relationships. It is the forge where trust is tempered and strengthened. The unshakable man does not shy away from conflict. He recognizes it as the necessary friction that polishes the connection to a brilliant shine. The three laws of conscious conflict. The law of the container. Before engaging, you must consciously establish the container. This means setting the frame for the conversation. A simple, preemptive statement works wonders. I want to talk about something that's on my mind. My goal is for us to understand each other better, not to be right. This immediately de-escalates the primal brain's threat response and frames the conflict as a collaborative effort rather than a battle. The law of emotional sovereignty. You must enter the conflict having already processed your own reactive emotions. If you are flooded with anger or fear, you are not ready. Take the space you need. A simple, I need some time to collect my thoughts so I can communicate clearly with you. Let's talk in an hour, is a demonstration of strength, not weakness. It shows you are master of your emotions, not their slave. The law of the deeper inquiry. Behind every surface complaint lies a deeper, unmet need. Your role is to be a detective of the heart. When she says, you never help with the dishes, the content is about chores. The context is about feeling unsupported, unseen, or carrying an unfair mental load. Your response should address the context, not just the content. It sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed and that I'm not being a full partner. Is that right? This moves the conversation from the transactional to the transformational. The anatomy of a conscious conflict resolution. The stance. You stand shoulder to shoulder with her, looking at the problem. You do not stand face to face, making her the problem. The language. Use I statements to express your experience without blame. I feel frustrated when agreements we make aren't followed because trust is important to me. Instead of, you never keep your promises. The goal is not victory. The goal is repair. A successful conflict ends with both people feeling heard, understood, and with a clear, agreed-upon path forward that feels respectful to both. A relationship with a perfect record of never arguing is a relationship built on suppression. A relationship with a perfect record of successful repairs after arguments is bulletproof. The paradigm of pursuit is inherently one of lack and pressure. The unshakable man operates from a new paradigm, the energy of invitation. Pursuit says, I need you to fill a void in me. Please let me in. Invitation says, my world is rich and fulfilling. I see your light, and there's a place for you here, should you choose to join me. This shift in energy is everything. It is the difference between a beggar and a king. It is the difference between a salesman and a visionary leader. How to embody the invitation. Live your vividly attractive life. Your primary focus is so compelling. Your projects, your passions, your friendships, your growth, that your life becomes an open invitation. People, including high-quality women, want to be near that energy. They want to participate in the adventure you are clearly having. Make offers, not please. Instead of asking for a date with the energy of please pick me, you make an offer from your world. I'm going to check out that new exhibit at the museum on Saturday. I'd enjoy your company if you're free. The activity is happening with or without her. She is invited to share in an experience you have already curated for yourself. Hold the door, but don't chase. You open the door for her to walk through. You make your interest clear through your attention and presence. But if she does not walk through, you do not run after her, begging her to change her mind. You calmly close the door and continue on your path. This unwavering commitment to your own direction is the most powerful invitation of all. It signals that your value is not negotiable. This energy is magnetic because it is free of desperation. It is a generous, non-needy sharing of your world. It allows a woman to choose you freely and wholeheartedly, not because she was pressured or pursued, but because the world you have built is one she genuinely wants to be a part of. A relationship without a shared narrative is just a series of transactions. The unshakable man is the author and architect of a compelling shared story. He understands that humans are meaning-making creatures, and we bond most deeply over shared significance. Creating the shared narrative. Define your why. Why are the two of you together beyond attraction? What is the shared mission of your relationship? Is it to create a beautiful family? To be a force for creativity and art in the world? To build a community? To adventure and explore the limits of human experience? This shared why is the North Star that guides you through difficult times. Create rituals of connection. Rituals are the punctuation marks in your shared story. They are the things you do that are so us. It could be a weekly hike, a special way you make coffee for each other, an annual trip, or a silly dance in the kitchen. These rituals create a container of shared identity and belonging. They are anchors of stability and joy. Speak the language of we. Consciously build a collective identity through language. How are we going to handle this challenge? What does this decision mean for us? This is what we believe in. This linguistically reinforces the team, the partnership, the shared kingdom you are building together. The man who can weave this shared story, who can point to a meaningful horizon and say, let's build that together, offers a woman something far deeper than security. He offers her a purpose. He makes her feel that her life is part of a grander, more meaningful adventure because she is walking the path with him. This is the final and most profound layer of containment. You are not just containing her emotions. You are containing her highest aspirations within the sacred vessel of your shared story. This is the ultimate expression of the unshakable man. He is no longer just a rock of stability. He is a lighthouse, casting a beam of meaning and purpose, guiding his partner and his family home through any storm. He has mastered himself, not for his own glory, but to become a pillar for a world he has been called to create. A relationship is not a static entity to be won and maintained. It is a living, breathing ecosystem, an ecology. The unshakable man understands that his role is not that of a conqueror, but of a cultivator. He tends to the relational soil, ensuring it is rich enough to support growth, resilient enough to withstand seasons of drought, and vibrant enough to bear fruit for both partners. The four elements of a generative relationship. Soil, foundation of trust. This is the non-negotiable base layer, built from the broken-down matter of past experiences, now composted into wisdom. It is composed of consistency. Your words, actions, and energy are aligned and predictable. She knows the man she wakes up with is the same man she went to bed with. Vulnerability. You are strong enough to be soft. You share your fears, hopes, and failures, not as a burden, but as an invitation for her to know the true landscape of your soul. Radical accountability. When you make a mistake, you own it completely, without excuses or deflections. You apologize not with, "I'm sorry you feel that way," but with, "I was wrong. My action was inconsiderate. Here is how I will do better." Water, emotional nourishment. This is the daily, life-giving flow of attention and appreciation. It is not the grand, yearly vacation. It is the daily, gentle rain. Micro moments of connection. The touch on the small of her back as you pass in the kitchen. The text message that says, "This made me think of you." The full, device-free attention when she is speaking. Curiosity. You remain a student of her. You ask questions not from a place of interrogation, but from a genuine desire to know the ever-evolving person she is becoming. What's lighting you up these days? What dream is whispering to you? Sun, inspired leadership. This is the directional energy, the purpose that pulls the relationship toward growth. It is your mission, now shared, that provides the light. Vision casting. You regularly paint a picture of your shared future. Imagine us in 5 years, sitting on the porch of that cabin we're going to build. This gives the relationship a forward trajectory. Holding the standard. You gently and firmly hold the line on the values you have agreed upon as a couple, whether it's financial discipline, health, or how you treat one another. You are the guardian of the relationship's integrity. Air, space for sovereignty. This is the essential element most men suffocate. It is the space between you, the breath that allows the relationship to live. Encouraging autonomy. You actively support her having a life, friends, and passions that are entirely her own. You understand that her time away from you is not a threat, but what allows her to return to you as a more whole, vibrant individual. Silence. You are comfortable in the quiet. You do not fill every moment with noise or activity, allowing the relationship to simply be, to breathe in the peaceful, unspoken understanding that needs no words. When these four elements are in balance, the relationship does not just survive, it thrives. It becomes a generative system that produces love, creativity, resilience, and joy, creating more energy than it consumes. The journey of the unshakable man is one of integrating the core, mature masculine archetypes within himself. When unbalanced, these archetypes manifest as shadows. When integrated, they form a complete and dynamic man. The king, the integrated king, is the center of his world. His energy is one of order, blessing, and peace. He is not a tyrant, the shadow king who controls, but a sovereign who creates a just and fertile realm for those in his care. In a relationship, he is the emotional tone setter, the source of stability and vision. He sees the best in his partner and blesses her growth. The warrior, the protector, the integrated warrior is focused, disciplined, and bound by a code of honor. He is not the sadist, the shadow warrior who enjoys destruction, or the masochist who endures pointless suffering. He protects the boundaries of the relationship, fights for its values, and takes decisive action toward its goals. He is the embodiment of the spine in your calm. The magician, the knower, the integrated magician, is the seeker of truth and wisdom. He understands the hidden dynamics at play, including the psychological patterns we've explored. He is not the detached manipulator, the shadow magician, or trickster, who uses knowledge for control. He uses his insight to heal, to solve problems creatively, and to see the deeper meaning in conflicts. The lover, the connector, the integrated lover, is passionate, sensual, and deeply connected to life. He feels deeply and finds joy in the physical and emotional world. He is not the addict, the shadow lover, who is enslaved by his appetites. He brings playfulness, sensuality, and heartfelt appreciation to the relationship. He is the one who remembers to bring flowers, to dance in the living room, to truly see and adore his partner. The unshakable man moves fluidly between these archetypes as the situation demands. When a boundary is tested, the warrior steps forward. When a shared dream is being woven, the king and magician collaborate. When it's time to connect and celebrate, the lover takes the lead. He is no longer a one-dimensional character, but a full-spectrum man, capable of handling the vast and varied demands of life and love. After all the work on self-mastery, containment, and leadership, there is one final, crucial lesson: how to receive. The ultimate paradox is that your unwavering strength is not meant to be a fortress against her, but a safe harbor for her essence, her feminine energy. This energy is not weak. It is fluid, intuitive, creative, and life-giving. But it cannot flow into a vessel that is cracked with insecurity or a fortress that is locked shut. The art of receiving her gifts. Receive her nurture. When she cares for you, makes you a meal, offers a comforting word, tends to you when you are sick. Do not deflect it with "I'm fine," or "You didn't have to do that." Receive it fully. Look her in the eye, and with genuine gratitude, say "Thank you. This makes me feel so cared for." By receiving her nurture, you validate her ability to give, which is a core part of her feminine expression. Receive her intuition. When she has a feeling about a person or a situation, do not dismiss it with logic. Her intuition is a different way of knowing. Say, "Tell me more about that. What are you sensing?" By honoring her intuition, you make her feel seen in her deepest knowing. Receive her influence. A strong man can be influenced without feeling controlled. When she offers a perspective or a request, consider it fully. You are still the final decision maker, holding the king energy, but a wise king listens to his most trusted counselors. Allowing her influence to shape your shared world is the ultimate sign of respect. This is the final surrender. It is the strength to be open. It is the power to be vulnerable. It is the understanding that your strength was never meant to stand alone, but to form one half of a sacred circuit. Your solid, directed masculine energy provides the container for her fluid, creative feminine energy to flow, and in return, her energy nourishes, inspires, and softens you. This is the dance. This is the union. This is where two wholes become a holy, generative one. You are the pillar and the sanctuary. She is the flow and the grace. And together, you create a world